welcome back everybody. Today we are going to be talking about Hydragon, and it feels very fitting for two reasons. Number one, we just found some new technology to make this maybe the best deck in the game. And two, I've been watching a lot of Skyrim videos for some reason, and Hydragon's a dragon and Skyrim has dragons. So feels like the perfect time to finally talk about Hydragon on this channel. Before I throw the list up, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I don't promote it, but I do have a Discord, and it is always available in the first link in the description. So go ahead and click that and join the Discord if you would like. So what is this new technology? This is a card that I somehow didn't know existed. Also, I gotta preface, dude, I just recorded this whole video and I wasn't recording. So I might forget to say some things because I am stupid. Because I already said them like 2 seconds ago. This new technology is this Absol card, which honestly, like, I did not, like, I definitely knew in the back of my mind that this was a card, but I also didn't know that it was a card. I have not considered this thing once this format. And you guys know me. I love my 30 bench snipe. It's like what it is. If I am able to play it, I will play it. So how I didn't realize that, like, Absol was a thing and we could be doing this with the dark decks as well is crazy. It seems like right now every single meta deck is throwing their own types 30 snipe somewhere, right? Like Altaria has Jirachi, Blaziken is Heatmore, and those are the ones that are doing the best, is the megas that can pressure the other opponent's megas early. You see here I go into my Chingling instead of my Absol. I know my Chingling's just going to get knocked out, and I'm not even doing it to stop Rare Candy Rampardos. What I'm doing it for is energy attachment is pretty important in this deck, and I don't want my Absol to take 50 and then the Absol get knocked out and I don't have any energy elsewhere, because I would like this Absol to live a turn, and then I can attach one more energy to the Mega Absol on the bench and get him set up so he can be an attacker in this game as well. And I'm just going to go Absol ping for 30 on this Rampardos, because I really do want to Cyrus that Rampardos. It's the only threat here. This Hitmonchan is not a threat. And look, I put 30 on this Clefossil, my opponent concedes. That is the power of Absol. You're going to see a lot of that in this gameplay. This gameplay is really trying to highlight how good the Absol is and how defining it is in all of these games. What else is interesting? This list is very similar to, like, the other variant that was getting played a lot last weekend. Last week, Hydragon's gone through quite a few evolutions, but last weekend, where Hydragon ended up and where I felt it actually became a deck that I liked to play and felt more than just like a really crazy high roll deck, was when we did the double Chingling, double X speed build with the 2 copycat. And that just allowed you to set up so much easier. This deck does still have elements of that. It's playing the 1 Chingling and the double copycat. And really the strength of this is there are some decks where Chingling is a really good card to delay your opponent. There are other times where the Chingling isn't going to be doing much, say a Mega Altaria deck. Chingling is going to stop like their Pokeballs, and that's usually like the only item cards they play in that deck. It's not really all that important for Chingling to do that. Now, that already was a good matchup, but you can apply that wherever. Sometimes Chingling's going to be better. Sometimes pinging 30 to the bench is going to be better. And this deck gives you both options. You see what else this does? Is right now, my Absol is stopping my opponent from benching anything, because he doesn't want them to get hit for 30. So he's just going to leave this Oricorio in the active spot. And I'm going to use Research, and I'm going to draw Rare Candy Hydragon, and the game ends right here. Will this happen all the time? No. But what this does do is if your opponent's going first and you're starting Absol, I will see it all the time. Your opponent will maybe play some Pokeballs, whatever. They will not bench their Pokemon because they're saying, well, I don't want my Pokemon to take 30 damage for free this turn. What that's going to mean is that on your turn, when it's your first turn of the game, your copycat is going to be that much stronger. If they just play a Research and bench no basics, you're going to have a copycat for like 6 cards, like you can see here, 6 or 7 cards, and get off to a really strong start because your opponent did not want to bench anything and let it take damage. It goes both ways. Like, the Absol can help boost your copycat's power. The Chingling can help boost your copycat's power. It is, dude, this deck just feels like I am getting set up so easily. Even just talking about the list, you know, is there anything I would change for it? I just ripped this list straight from the second place. It got second place at the Pocket Match tournament. And I don't want to change a card about it. I love it. I love it the way it is. The Chingling also functions as, besides just being a good item locking option for some matchups, it will also, it'll act as a free retreater. Like, I started the Chingling here. I don't know how important it's going to be immediately, but I know that I'm going to get to item lock before my opponent gets to play the game. And then if I want to go into Absol next turn, I'm totally free to do so. I won't waste any energy attachments. I don't have to worry about it. So starting the Chingling is just fantastic. You got that 1 in 6 chance to do it. And so we're going to find out here. My opponent plays Licia, so I'm assuming it's a Mega Altaria build, and there it is. And I see that Swablu hit the bench, and instantly I know I'm switching gears, and we are going to bench sniping mode. Another thing you'll see I'm doing is I'm not putting my Mega Absol on the bench. I still don't know what this deck is. My opponent benched an Eevee, so it's probably not going to be relevant for this game, but it could have very well been an Indeedee Altaria build that is playing Jirachi. You never, guys, there's so much 30 snipes out there, and Mega Absol probably gets punished by them harder than any other Mega because it has such low HP in comparison. So you don't want to be benching your Mega Absol until it is like safe for you to do so. Maybe if you have an energy attachment in your hand, then you want to do it. Maybe if your opponent doesn't have any of those sniping cards, but you always want to be conscious that, like, oh, the sniping cards could come out now, and I really don't want to give my opponent the win condition of snipe the Mega Absol 2 times and then Cyrus him up and I lose the game that way. You don't want to give that option to your opponent. So hold your Mega Absol until you really need to put it down. I have 3 cards in my hand. My opponent's not going to disrupt it, and if they do, I don't really care. I'm holding Rare Candy, which is nice, but I don't have any researches or copycats or anything. My hand getting disrupted here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I also don't have any Cyruses for when this Mega Altaria eventually or when the Swablu eventually becomes a Mega Altaria. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch gears here because my opponent did not attach to any of the Swablus. He didn't evolve that damaged one on the bench. So what I do also top deck the copycat, so I'm going to get a fresh, what is that, 6 cards here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look to completely ignore the Mega Altaria this game if I can. I'm going to use this 30 poke to knock out that Swablu on the bench, and then I have 2 very tasty, delectable critters here that I can hope to knock out, right? Because my opponent next turn, he's gonna have a couple choices. He's either going to attack with Indeedee, or he's going to attach to Mega Altaria and then maybe retreat into it and let it, you know, avoid any Absol damage, let it avoid a Hydragon hit, whatever. Those are like his 2 options. And if he switches into Mega Altaria, I'm going to snipe 30 onto the Indeedee or the Sylveon and hope to Cyrus it. Now, you see, I did Copycat, but I didn't get Rare Candy Hydragon off of that, which is a bit unfortunate. I did get Double Research and the other baby Absol. So even if my opponent attacks with this Mega Absol this turn, like, I have like everything I want. I have total control here, and I draw baby Absol and double Hydragon, so it's like not the best. Again, the way I see myself potentially winning this game is going to be through knocking out this Indeedee, and what I'm probably going to do this turn is promote Chingling, retreat into baby Absol, and drop 30 on the Sylveon as well. And then I have 2 targets for Cyrus Hydragon, but I top deck Rare Candy. I also could have done 30. No, that wouldn't have mattered. I was going to say I could have dropped 30 on Mega Altaria, but my Mega Absol will not be able to 2-shot with this Indeedee in play. So, yeah, it would have been better to just drop 30 on the Sylveon and then just hope that I find the Cyrus or something like that, because Mega Absol will not get through Mega Altaria. And luckily, I was able to just find the Rare Candy there to get through the Indeedee and win the game. But you see there, that was another game won by Absol. If I had just been Chinglinging in the active spot, I mean, I could have just gone rush down Hydragon, but I didn't even find it. I did not find Hydragon until very late in the game. And the Absol was able to still give me some early pressure besides just item locking a deck that doesn't care about being item locked and doing very meaningless damage. Well, truly meaningless damage, because the Indeedee heals 20 every single turn. So Yeah, Absol worked out very, very nicely in my favor for that game right there. Now, I can't remember if I already talked about it, but so I'll just touch on it briefly. But there is that other way to play the Hydragon list with the double Chingling, double X speed. I still think that deck is fine, but I vastly prefer this version. I've been playing this version, and it feels so much better to me. And again, you guys know how much I love the bench sniping. And I just don't like... Dude, if I have the opportunity to play the bench sniping, it adds another element to the game that I think increases the skill ceiling on a deck and the amount of plays you're able to make with that deck. So I like it a lot more. It feels just as... I can't say it's as consistent as the double Chingling, double X speed build, because that deck is literally built to, like, set up Hydragon as fast as possible. But it doesn't feel like I'm compromising that much by not playing that version. Like I said earlier, the Absol and the Chingling both have ways to make your opponent hold cards in their hand, making your copycat that much stronger. Like even right here, man, even sometimes you can just kind of high roll. I'm holding Rare Candy Hydragon and Copycat in hand. I'm going to get a beautiful 4 cards off of this Copycat. My opponent attached to the Indeedee. I think he should have attached to the Espeon this turn, for sure. But he was probably just hoping that I would not pull off the Hydragon this turn, or maybe for the next couple of turns. But unfortunately for him, I do have it. And I find second Dino and Rare Candy and a Pokeball. Now, this Pokeball is going to find me the baby Absol. I'm not interested in the baby Absol. I think the way I'm going to win this matchup is not through sniping. That EV is on the bench, and, like, yes, that could be knocked out in 2 Absol snipes, but my opponent is probably playing double Sylveon, double Espeon, maybe a baby Espeon in here as well. I don't foresee myself winning the game by sniping that EV, because it probably won't be an EV for much longer. So I'm just going to go in with Hydragon. Knock out this Indeedee. And what is kind of lined up for me is there's a potential that, depending on, like, what heals my opponent has, I might just be able to go Hydragon attack, push up Dino, do enough damage. And if I can, I might even be able to find Mega Absol and then use that. Like, I might be able to make my opponent go through Hydragon, Dino attack, stall for a turn, Mega Absol to finish the game. And my opponent just played his 1 Sabrina. I can't imagine he's playing 2 Sabrina. So I'm, like, set up beautifully here. And I find second Hydragon. So now I'm just going to Rare Candy into double Hydragon. And I don't see a world where this game is not just over on the spot. Now, even if my opponent had attached to the Espeon that last turn, my Hydragon would still be alive. If he didn't play Sabrina and he just swung into my Hydragon would still be alive with 10 HP here. It wouldn't be able to attack again for another turn, but it would still do what it needs to do, which is putting down 150 damage onto this Espeon. So even with that misplay from my opponent, and I would call it a misplay because I don't know what his plan was for the Indeedee, is not a good attacker into this matchup. And if you are attaching to the active in order to retreat it, it is usually better to just attach to the bench if there's a chance that your active Pokemon's gonna get knocked out that next turn. And look at my opponent. He's going Pokemon Center Lady, Potion, Espeon ability, EV bag. I'm sitting here thinking, like, is he about to get to 150? I mean, he could do it, but he's just gonna Super Psybolt, leave my Hydragon alive, and then tuck his tails between his legs, and you'll see. And there's the Mega Absol I was talking about. He's just gonna concede. He's just gonna concede. He thinks I'm a dirty meta user. I'm a filthy meta user. Dude, listen, man. There are like 6 decks right now, all pretty equal power level. If you complain about the meta, there's no hope for you for this game. I just don't think that this game is for you. Like, honestly. If you... Last format with Suicune, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. It was one deck. That was it. It was one deck that completely... Everything revolved around that one deck. Right now, we have 6 decks, all amazing power level. And if you can't find one of those to play and enjoy the game, then I really don't know what to tell you. Now, there's no problem with being like, oh, I don't enjoy playing meta. You know, I like to play the off meta stuff because it's a bit more fun to me. That, dude, totally fine. I understand that. I like to pick up some of the slop decks every now and then as well. But if you were going to complain as if the game is in some sort of bad spot right now, again, I think it's time to move on. I think it's time to find something else to play. Because this is like the best it's going to get, man. You know, when that mini set comes out, it's probably not going to stay as good as it is now. The Pokemon Pocket International Company, whatever you guys are called, DNA, however you say it, they have a habit of printing one really, really powerful card in mini sets and warping the meta around that one really powerful card. So hopefully we don't see it. But yeah, enjoy it while you can, man. Enjoy it while you can. I'm so excited for rank to start. All right, you see here, I'm playing against a Arceus deck, and Arceus has always lost to the same thing. Bench snipe. You think about like when Buzzwole came out, and Buzzwole played Pheromosa, and they were able to use Pheromosa's attack and put damage on the Arceus. Arceus is pretty slow to set up. It's not a fast guy. He needs 3 energy attachments. And when you're able, like, when they're taking that much time, if you can just shut down the only Arceus they are setting up, because you can only set up one at a time, and then either Cyrus it or even just, like, leave it damaged for when it comes into the active spot, that is the way to beat Arceus. So, I was begging for a baby Absol here. I do eventually find it, and I'm just going to start using Leap Over. I'm going to ping this Arceus, and I'm holding double Cyrus in hand, and I have a Hydragon set up, so I know what I'm doing next turn. I know what I'm doing next turn, and that is going to be using Cyrus on Arceus if my opponent does not find his Pokemon Center Lady. He's going to play a couple Pokeballs, thin the deck out, and then he's going to research. So I know that Arceus is a goner, unless my opponent's playing Potion in his deck, which I've seen weirder things. I don't think you should be playing a Potion in the Arceus deck, but it could happen. He attaches to the Arceus, and I guess misses Rare Candy Crobat here and concedes the game. I don't think the Rare Candy Crobat would have helped him, to be honest. He also didn't know that I had double Cyrus in hand, but I think that was enough to make him leave the game. But there you go. Another game where Absol comes through. This deck flows so well. And, like, what's really great about it is other decks that play these 30 snipes, their attacker is a Mega. So when you're playing like an Altaria or a Blaziken, you are throwing 30 at your opponent's Mega while they're also throwing 30 at your Mega. So what you end up doing is you just you end up in a race to who finds Cyrus first. And so whoever finds Cyrus first is usually the one who wins in those cases. This deck is throwing 30 without a Mega in play, but isn't like... you're not compromising anything. You are setting up these Hydreigons ready to go on these Megas. Now, it can still be the same thing, right? Like, if my opponent is playing Altaria and goes 30 onto my Dino and then uses Cyrus on it and knocks it out with a Mega Altaria, it wouldn't be great for me. It would be one of the worst things ever. But you don't lose the game on the spot because of it. You will have a little bit of time to rebuild after that happens. So it's not like a game ender like these other Mega decks where their attacker is 100% like Mega based. We're playing here against this new Mega Pidgeot. This new Mega Pidgeot. And I maybe for like YouTuber reasons, I should have made a video on it today. But I didn't because I read the card. For some reason, I thought it was flip 4 coins, which would have been interesting, but it's flip 3 coins. And I think that takes it from, like, maybe this card is actually secretly A tier to, yeah, I think this card is just more than likely pretty bad. But maybe not. Hey, maybe you play Mega Pidgeot with Bench Snipe and Cyrus's, and you go Cyrus on the Mega, and then you just strip the energy off the Mega. There is also that, like, slight chance that the Mega Pidgeot does 0 damage, because if you flip 3 tails, you do no damage. Yeah, now that I remember that you can do no damage, yeah, there's no hope for that guy, unfortunately. It is a promo card, but, yeah, unfortunately, Mega Pidgeot is was doomed as soon as they said that, hey, there's a chance this card just does no damage. And you don't get anything for it, right? You don't get nothing for it. Oh, another thing to talk about is I mentioned earlier that there's like 6 decks right now that are kind of like the meta. And this deck right here, why I say that it might just be the most powerful deck in the format right now, is its matchup spread is crazy. So the 6 best decks are Magnezone, this deck right here, Absol, Darkrai, Suicune, Altaria variants, and Blaziken. This deck is going to do great into Altaria. It's going to do great into Magnezone. It's going to do fairly well into Suicune. You get to take full advantage of them drawing a bunch of cards with your copycats. The Hydreigon can also get through a Suicune in one attack if they hit into the Rocky Helmet. What else? Sorry. There's the Blaziken as well. That matchup, it can depend on if they're playing Lily or not, but this version, like, kind of fixes it because Hydragon does 130, Mega Absol does 80. Against Mega Blaziken, you are able to go Hydragon, attack, 130 into the Mega Blaziken, Mega Absol, follow-up, knockout. If they're playing Lily, you can maybe change how you do things. You could attack with Mega Absol first, hope to hit the Lily, then attack with the Hydragon. That's very risky, though, because if they don't have the Lily, and then they, like, top deck the Lily, you might be in trouble in that case. But with the new Baby Absol, and we're at the end of our gameplay, I pinged damage, and my opponent conceded. Like, that's what this deck did today, man. If you have the Baby Absol, you can ping the Torchic on the bench, or you can item lock with Chingling. But if you're pinging the Torchic with the Absol, they're going to be forced to use that Lily early. Or even, like, no matter what, if you just ping that Mega Blaziken twice with Absol, the Lily's going to be, it's not going to be relevant anymore. You can then still win the game by going Hydragon, attack into it, Mega Absol, attack into it. I guess it only gets really weird if they're playing the Giant Cape. But all this is to say that this deck's matchup spread is, like, really, really good right now. It feels very, very consistent. I am really in love with this deck, and not just because I've been watching a lot of Skyrim and it's fun to play with a dragon. I really, really, really like this deck, and it feels ridiculously powerful right now into the meta. So that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe on your way out. Like the video. I'll see you on the next one.